Oh, let me open this in my web browser. Oh. Got it. Wow, thanks for that. That was a very kind message from YouTube right there. That was a very kind message. Did my thing work? I haven't gone live in a while. I should probably make sure my thing even worked. I don't even know if it worked. Did it work? I got a notification. Wow, now live on your channel. Wow, that's me. Noah, what up, dude? That's a race car right there. It's been a while since I've done anything live. Wow. Wow, what's up, Alex and Brian and Jordan? What's poppin', you guys? How you guys doing? What's going on, Nick? Colin, yo, what up, DJ? Hey, let's go. I know it's been a little while. I do apologize. It's been a little bit, but hello, casually dropped. He's buying an FD, right, dude? I'm stoked for the FD. I've been watching so much of like Rob Dom's videos the past couple of days and some others on YouTube trying to learn how to rebuild an FD. Looks incredibly easy. It'll probably be entirely different when I go to do it though. Yo, you have any 15 plus parts for sale? I do, actually. I haven't posted some of them up for sale. I'm doing like a big, massive garage clean out right now, so I've got a ton of parts out there that I've been selling, sold, and some other ones I got to post. But I've got like I know like a JDM STI, subframe power steering rack, but a whole bunch of random things in there. Going rotate on my 15 STI, running a GTX 4088R. What do you think? Ooh, what's your power goals, my man? Working, but it's a bit jumpy. I don't doubt that. It has been a little while. I played with some of the settings to see what's going on. Woo, David, what's up, man? How you been? What are your plans for the FD? Honestly, just get it running. So the FD that we're picking up, it's in California. That's why I'm going down there. This FD hasn't ran in like 10 years. It does come with a 13B. It comes with all the parts to get it running and driving again, with the exception of a catback. But, I mean, we can order a catback for an FD. We're not going to run a stock exhaust anyway. So this thing hasn't ran in... Well, I just had it set where I thought was a good spot. This FD hasn't ran in 10 years, so we have a lot of work. It's similar to what was going on with the Evo when we got it, but this time it's FD. I'm excited for the FD, man. I made it this time, just sitting here playing Elden Ring, so I am here for it. Hey, what's up, man? How's Elden Ring going? I heard that... Dude, I've seen people play Elden Ring. If I played that thing for like 10 minutes, my controller would be through the wall. I would not be able to do it. Been a long time since I caught a live. Honestly, in your defense, it's been a long time since I've done a live, so... this is a figment of your coma. Please wake up. Bro, what's with the mic quality? Sounds like a webcam. Does it? I did a couple of like audio tests and it seemed to here. Look, I can change this guy. I don't know why it sounds like a webcam. I was playing with a different settings and whatnot. When do you expect to have the FD? I fly down to California on April 22nd to go get it. So I already have like plane tickets and everything like that to bring it back up here. But April 22nd, we go get the FD, we bring it back up. It'll be a fun time. Can I DM you on the gram to see what parts you got? Sure, go for it, man. Working on 207 swapping my GF8. Nice. Have an IEG stage 2 long block shooting for 600 horsepower. Send it, dude. That's like solid goal for that GTX, man. It'll do it. It'll do it. Running same turbo on blue or going bigger? Bigger. So we have I sold the 6870 from last time. We now have a 7675, which I think I have a photo of it. Hold up. This thing's like noticeably bigger. It's huge, dude. It's a big turbo, I'm not gonna lie. This thing's pretty large. I haven't... dude. The motor should be shipping back tomorrow from Outfront. At least that's what I was told. So I'm kind of hoping that it ships out tomorrow because I've been patiently playing the waiting game for 6 months now, and I don't want to play the waiting game anymore. Ah, there it is. There's a decent photo of the Turbski, of the new turbo. There you go. Look at that, right up in there. Thing's gnarly big, dude. Thing's wild. Where in Cali? Up north. It's like the Eureka area. It's pretty much Oregon. It's like very North California. I'm running injector dynamic 1700cc with an AM 340. Ooh, that's not... 3.4. Are you running pump gas or E85? E85, that 340 is going to cap out. You're either going to need like a 450 minimum, a single, which will still probably cap out, or at least like two 340s or two 450s. Stereo mic setting sounds horrible. I don't know why, dude. I just like tested this and it was like just fine. Here, let me try pushing it away a little bit. I legit just did like video recordings to like test audio and it sounded fine on my computer, so I don't know why it's being all wonky now. Let me try turning gain down a little bit more. Let me know if that's any better. I don't know why it's being all wonky. It was literally just fine before I started doing a live stream. Built it, heads myself from watching your videos. Hey, nice, man. Glad the videos help. Keep them coming, man. Also, love my 100K subscriber shirt. Ooh, that reminds, still got the settings on OnlyFans mode. Hey, you caught me, Jared. You caught me. Here, I'll try turning it down a little bit more right here and see if that changes anything. Because I was trying, normally it always seems like it's too quiet, but someone mentioned gain. I adjusted gain again. Here, look, I'll turn it down a little bit more. If it still sounds weird, it's good enough for now. Yeah, new turbo 7675 from Precision with a, I want to say it's a 105 hot side on that thing. So that thing will do way more power. Now, if you guys look at turbo placement here, we need to cut the up pipe probably about right here and kind of push it back a little bit more so that way we can still fit a headlight in there. I also need to chop off the intercooler pipes off of the end tanks of the intercooler core itself and weld Vangent clamps on there so that way we can actually have proper intercooler piping. Because we have a Varus bumper going on this thing with the whole wide body and whatnot. And that Varus bumper kind of sticks in a little bit more, so we need to get a little bit more creative with intercooler piping, but should be solid. Alright, mic sounds fine. I ain't touching it now. It's staying where it's at. But, yeah, bigger turbo than last time. 6870 was awesome, but I figured if I'm tearing everything apart, to rebuild it again, might as well do the upgrades that I wanted to do last time, this time. So, ID 2600s, 7675, two 520 Hellcat fuel pumps in the fuel tank this time. So, everything I wanted to do last time, but we're doing it this time. Ever been out to Colorado? Subaru's everywhere out there. Last time I was in Colorado, I had my 350Z, and that was a long time ago. So no, I haven't been out to Colorado in a bit. What do you suggest for turbos for about 350 wheel on my 207? FP Blue, not a bad turbo for that setup. Pretty responsive, both low end and top end. You'll get some good power, and for the 207, it shouldn't be too bad. I'm running a TD04. Hey, dude, the TD04 is about the size of the inlet right here. It's I want to say it's a 5-inch or 5.5-inch inlet on that turbo. It's wild, dude. What's the limit on the stock hard lines for the fuel pump? I should run all lines. I've done like 650 on stock hard lines going from the pump to the rails. But that was kind of where we started running into issues. If you're planning on anything more than like 600, I would probably swap over to like a -8 AN feed, or at minimum like a -6, because the stock hard lines, -5 isn't really a size, but they're essentially -5. You could take a take a -6 and fit the stock feed line inside of it, so you're getting a good bump up on that. Domino's Pizza. Realistic power you can make on a stock 2020 RA block full bolt-ons. Dude, that's such a controversial question. You just asked me the most controversial question that's going around the internet right now. That's entirely up to you. I feel comfortable running a stock RA block up to 450 wheel. After 450 wheel, I'd swap to something else. You're gonna get answers all over the place from RA block topics. The only reason why I feel so comfortable going to 450, I've done it. Like Karma had the RA. So if you guys follow Matt has my old RA block out of Karma in Mittens right now, his legacy. I beat the ever-living hell out of that RA block. I was flat-foot shifting it, launching it, revving it out. I was playing with that engine a lot. That thing saw a lot of abuse. And for a stock RA block, that thing took some power. And it just ate it. FP Black on that thing had no problems. It's up to you. Like, there's plenty of people out there making good power. Like, hundreds, if not a couple, probably 1,000 or 2,000. I don't know how many people. There's a ton of people out there with RA blocks with a lot of power. But it's so controversial. Like, you do whatever you want. Personally, if it was me, I have no problem running an RA block up to 450 wheel. It heavily depends on your torque. I mean, obviously your torque's going to be a bit lower than 450. Your torque will probably be around 400. Even at that, I probably still wouldn't personally have a problem with it. But entirely up to you, man. Entirely up to you on that one. Tanner, should I pull the engine or drop the trans for a clutch install? 100% pull the engine. Pull the engine, man. I hate dropping transmissions with a passion. Unless you have a 2-post lift, nah. Can you powder coat and rebuild my Brimbos? I don't. I appreciate the dono, Garrett. I don't like to. I can, but I don't like to. It's not enjoy. I hate powder coating and like sandblasting and stripping and all that stuff. Brimbos, like I can rebuild them all day, but like it's not fun. It's not fun to do. I'm 370 on a RA block mint. See, that's what I'm saying. Trans super easy to pull alone. Bro, I will 100% pull an engine before I pull a trans. I can get an engine out in a half hour and get the clutch on there, get it put back in, and probably like Matt and I did it. I think in an hour and a half on the hatch, like twice in one day. I prefer pulling the engine versus dropping the trans. Pull the trans is likely harder than the engine on STI. Big facts. My tuner and I were talking about the RA motors. In the long run, it is better to... I mean, honestly, it depends on what you're doing with the car also. If you're going to put an RA block in there or a built motor in there. Obviously, if you want like longevity out of an engine, you're going to put a built motor in there. If you have an RA block sitting around, if you're not looking to spend $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 on a built motor and you only want 400 to maybe like 420 wheel, like I said, I feel comfortable running an RA block. I've done it before multiple times. The white 04 STI on the garage right now has an RA block in it. I would run that thing up to 450 no problem and still feel confident and comfortable with it, but it's a controversial topic. It's all it is. Also, I'm pulling the engine of my car to replace the clutch in a couple of weeks. That's what I'm saying, dude. Pulling the engine's way easier. When you're pulling a motor, is it easier to lift from the intake manifold or use... I never lift from the intake manifold. I've had bolts pull threads before, and not a huge fan of that. So I always take the intake manifold, the TGVs off. I use the power steering pump bracket bolt, the two up on the top of the block, and then one of the AC bolts is how I pull them. Morning from Australia. Not a Subi owner, but absolutely love your YouTube videos. Keep up the great work. One of the best around. Hey, appreciate it, man. Hope everything's going well down in Australia. I haven't talked to anyone down there in a little while. It actually has been a while. I have friends down there. I haven't talked to them in a little while. I need to call them. Just got the trans back in. Reverse light doesn't work now. Make sure that you plugged it in because there is that transmission cord that goes up from the transmission up to the harness. If that's unplugged, it will not kick on the reverse lights. Thoughts on modding a 2019 Plus CVT WRX? I mean, the CVT is going to be your biggest drawback if you're trying to make a lot of power. If you're just trying to stay like moderate power, mod away, my man. Don't shoot for big power on a CVT though, because it's not going to happen. A CVT is going to exit the chat real quick, and you are not going to have a good time trying to put that thing back together or rebuilding a CVT. No one likes rebuilding CVTs. I've never met anybody who's like, yeah, I'll rebuild a CVT for you. No one ever wants to touch them. Hey there, I've got an 07 STI with stock turbo. Is it alright to run E85 on stock injectors and upgraded fuel pump? No, stock injector, no. Swap out the stock injector. You're going to cap those things real quick. Your injector duty cycle is going to be through the roof on E85 on stock injectors. Definitely would not advise it. Hunter, appreciate the dono, man. So my 2022 WRX now needs a new trans, center diff, and drive shaft, all under warranty, 7,600 miles, and was due to fried bearings at 6,800 miles. That's wild, man. Hunter, are you the first case of failed trans on a 2022? I haven't heard of any other trans failing. Or did they, which bearing specifically, if you don't mind me asking, if you know? You keep saying pull the engine. What is the best resource that shows how to remove the engine for a particular car? Is there a site or something? My heavy metal WRX, I got you, my man. Pulling the engine out of 2022 or 2015 to 2023 WRX, I guess 2024 WRX, I guess at this point. It's pretty much all the same. I have videos on my channel showing how to pull them out. It's really not too bad to do. It's the same as an EJ, same as like an EJ based WRX to be specific, because the FA WRXs don't have a slide pin for the clutch fork. They have the pivot ball section. Honestly, it's the exact same. Disconnect the J-pipe, disconnect fuel lines, disconnect coolant lines, unplug wiring harness, undo bell housing bolts, start getting it apart, undo the pivot ball that holds the throw bearing to the transmission, everything like that. But, I mean, they're all the same. Subarus are... It doesn't matter how many... Unless Subaru does a drastic change in engine and transmission design, they all function the exact same way. It's kind of nice, but at the same time, like, mix it up a little bit. Will we ever see Smeedy in a vehicle with the B58? Dude, German, anything. Not even just German. European cars scare me, okay? If we're being real here, these things scare me. After the Golf R, whoo, I'm scarred, but... No, I don't know, maybe. Matt and I were looking at, like, E36, E46s the other night. Some Mercedes also, just randomly on, like, Facebook Marketplace. We're trying to, like, get out into the automotive stuff a little bit more with different topics. It's been slow the past, like, couple of days, so we've had some time to kill. So I don't know, maybe one day play with a B58. Not today, not tomorrow, but maybe one day, my man. My Raptor supercharged EZ30 is making around 360 wheel, but it's backfiring when off throttle at idle. It starts to rev hunt from it, sometimes even stalls. Any ideas? Thinking coil packer spark plugs. If it stalls at idle, Oh, my camera. Oh, sorry. I'm using my DSLR. If it goes into sleep mode, it goes to sleep. If it's dying at idle, the first thing I'd think of is like a vacuum leak. And if it's hunting for revs, that would also make me think vacuum leak. I would do a vacuum test to start with. If everything checks out on the vacuum test, pull plugs, check plugs. If plugs check out, play with coil packs. If it was a bad coil pack or a bad spark plug, you'd more than likely be getting a misfire, though, and then you could try to narrow it down a little bit more. My first thought is vacuum leaks on that one, though. Dude, I love the M2s. The M2s are dope. I like those things. In the first case, they sent a Subaru rep out from Japan, and he has taken all parts back to research and figure out where it came from and who manufactured it and caused the issue. Interesting. Hunter, keep me posted on that, man. I'm curious to see. I don't know. Are they going to, like, notify you? Or I doubt they would notify you and be like, hey, the dude from Japan has found all of this evidence. I'm curious. I'm just curious to see what comes from it. I'm just curious. E36 M3. I personally am more of an E46 fan over the E36. Matt likes the E36s though, but I like them both. If I were to get one, I would get an E46 though over E36. BMW blasphemy. E36 M3, great car. I've heard great things about the M series. They're just they seem expensive. I've never owned one, but they seem a little expensive. Basil requires double Doge. I will get you the Doges in a little bit. Melanie is doing... I think she's streaming right now. I'm not entirely sure. Or she's editing. I don't know what she's doing. But she has dogs in there right now. What were the problems with the Golf R? I missed that journey. So, I went out. I sold my 05 STI, and I wanted something completely different, completely out of this realm that I've normally dealt with. So, I went down to a Volkswagen dealer, and I bought a 2016 Golf R with 70,000 miles. Everything on the Carfax, and the dealer told me they went through and they serviced the car. Everything had been done. That was my fault for trusting the dealer when they told me they did that. Played with the car for a little while. Put like a Cobb intake on it, an access port on it for a little while. Pulled that off. Put the car back to stock because I had a whole bunch of integrated engineering stuff that I was going to put on the car. After it was stock for like 2-3 weeks at this time, and I was getting like all the integrated engineering stuff here ready to go on the car. And while it was put back to stock, I'm talking like stock tune, stock airbox, stock downpipe, stock everything. I was on my way to the shop to go work on the Evo, and the spark plug ground strap broke off on cylinder 3 and fell inside of the engine. The car started misfiring pretty badly, so I was able to limp it to the shop. Got it to the shop. I was like, all right, something's going on with the Golf R. Had it towed back to the house, pulled it back in. That's when I found out the spark plug had decided to unalive itself in cylinder 3, and the ground strap went through the engine. It completely thrashed the cylinder walls in cylinder 3. Made its way out of the head. I believe it made it into the turbo. Thing ended up getting rod knock. I don't know what happened to it after that. The dealer ended up taking it back, but they wouldn't give me my deposit back after 30 days. I only drove the car 1,000 miles, 30 days. It's whatever. It's passed. But no, after that, I had one bad experience. We have the GTI. We still have our Mark 7 GTI. Thing has given us like no issues at all, aside from like the normal little Volkswagen like warranty or recall things, like the shifter bezel trim like cuts your finger and whatnot because it's a little metal piece that like sticks up. Some microcontrollers, micro switches, and things like that. But that thing's been minty. But that Golf R I had, dude, that thing, it was fun. I really liked the car, but no, it was just a bad experience for me. Double Doge be here on the stream in spirit, friend. they'll be here soon. I'll go get the small dogs here soon. Gas is $3.34 in New York City. That's cheap, man. I think pump gas here is like $4.95, $4.99. Oh, there might be a Doge coming. I have one Doge right here. Melanie let them in here. Come here. Come here. Come here. I don't know what he doesn't want to come here. He said, come here. Come here, small boy. Look, I've got one dog. I don't know where the corgi's at right now, but I got one dog for you. Just picked up a 20 STI Type R. Ooh, very nice. Best exhaust for the platform. That is very... You have really bad breath, bud. Best exhaust, that's kind of a subjective question. I personally like the... I've recently become a big fan of Tomei. ETS makes some really good catbacks. I heard AWE makes some pretty good ones, too. I saw some random like quality control stuff on Facebook from a couple of AWE posts recently. But I mean, it's whatever your budget, whatever style you like, whatever sound you want, man. There's so many options for catbacks on these cars. It's wild. Bone stock 05 LGT 157K, misfire cylinder 1 and 4. New plugs, new coils, and connectors. Now have P1544 high EGT and car won't run when warm. AP stage 1. So first thing I'm going to tell you, unofficially for off-road use, go ahead and get yourself a resistor off of Amazon. I forget what the ohmage is for the resistor. And you're going to go ahead, you're going to put that resistor into that EGT because those EGTs are just stupid. And you can trick them. Not telling you to. Obviously, if you're going to be doing this, drive your car off-road. Okay, this is not for on-road use. There's plenty of write-ups on how to do it, but that will clear that P1544. As for the... Oh, okay, go run through. I'm going to close this, you guys. Oh, Mochi, are you coming in here? Okay. All the dogs are going to start barking. Matt just got home. As for the misfire... check something. This is going to sound really weird. Injectors. Check your injectors. Make sure that everything on the injector side is solid. No broken wires. They are indeed spitting fuel. You can pull up cylinder roughness on cylinders 1 and 4. See what's going on. You can also go ahead. Oh my God. Why you bark? Why you do the boof? You can also go ahead and pull those injectors, get them cleaned. Honestly, not a bad idea at 157,000 miles either. Oh, look at him. So huggable. Mochi, come here. Come here. Hold up. Come here. Come here. You cannot run. Look, I got the other one now. I got the Corgi. Look, got both of them now. My EGT bung was red hot. Ooh, sure thing off-road injectors working. Ooh. Well, that's not fun. If it's cylinder 1 and 4, that's really weird since they're opposing of one another. I have dog hair in my eye. Here, go be free. You're too much right now. You're too much. She just wants to run around. Aside from that, could be... What is your AVCS left and right doing? That's something else I would check. Randomly, I know it seems weird, but that's something else I would check. My Mark 6 GTI was mechanically great, but I did go through 3 alternators, 2 starters, 1 compressor, and still have an alternator in the garage. Jeez. You said you wanted a different platform, get a Datsun Z car. You'd kill it with your camera saw. I used to have one. I had a 1970. Was it 70? It was a 200ZX, 280ZX. I want to say that was 80s. Was that 80s or 70s? I don't remember. I had one a while ago, but... Tanner accepted. After the FD build, it's time for a vet. I really want a C7, but those are like stupid expensive. I love the styling of the C7s. They're just like stupid expensive. How do I check that? Do you have an access port brake room escape? That is really the only way to check it. Do you know of a way to get around cell on 2019 plus STI running aftermarket Jesse downpipe? Look up something called an O2 Fowler. It works for some people. It may or may not work for you. Another cute pupper. Yeah, that one's Mochi. She's, she just turned 1, actually. Mochi just turned 1 year old. That's wild. I feel like we just got Mochi, and she was just like a wee little puppy. We got her at like 10 weeks old, and now she's 1. She's huge. We were not expecting her to get so big. I sold my C5 for an STI. How'd you like the C5? I was looking at C5s also. They're not bad. I'm not a huge fan of the looks, but for like price point, they're not bad for price point. This media hopping into an 0506 GTO. Personally, no, I'm not. Sorry for the repeat message. 20WX, first time running Cobb OTS Stage 1 Plus with SF intake, getting negative 1.41, feedback knock while cruising, holding speed. Totally normal. You're going to see anything under negative 4.20. Negative 4.20 to 0 feedback knock is normal. Anything above negative 4.20 is considered abnormal, but especially on OTS tunes, you're going to get way more feedback knock on an OTS tune than you would off of a Pro tune. Pro tune meaning dyno tune, E-tune, street tune, any of those. It just kind of circumferences all of it. OTS tunes, they're going to do it. That through a separate slow response code. Jeez. Okay, what was the other one? I totally spaced on what the follow-up from that was. You excited to work on the FD? I am actually really excited to work on the FD. Like I said, I've been watching a lot of videos on how to rebuild rotaries, how to rebuild a 13B, because the what I miss about ChatGPT, Fox, we're going to get to that here in a little bit. I got it pulled up right now. Rotaries look easy. They look stupid easy to assemble, disassemble, rebuild, and whatnot. We also have Atkins rotary, like 20-25 minutes away from me, so that's also not bad. So if I need help, I can just go over to Atkins and ask them, be like, hey, can you guys help me do all this stuff? Maybe. I mean, we'll see. If you want something different, get an Evo X. Is the Evo X that much different, though, from the 8 and 9? Because when I had my 8, you get the Evo performance while still having parts available. Plus, I own 2 Evos, so I'm biased. That's fair. That's totally fair. I mean, the big thing that like deterred me from my 8 was like part availability and like price of even like used parts for Evo 8 and 9 stuff, dude. It was ridiculous. It was absolutely wild. Maybe, I don't know, maybe. I do like Evo 10s. I was looking around for Evo 10s before this FD came up. So, I mean, everybody loves FDs, I feel like. I want an FD. I've wanted an FD for a long time, and now I have the opportunity to do one. Evo X's, I feel like, will still be more common in the years to come versus FDs. So, I don't know. I'm excited for the FD. Swapping LS into the RX7. No! No! Sacrilege! I'm keeping a rotary in that thing. At least for now. Let me play with the rotary stuff for a while. C5, Z06, C6, Z06, or ZR1, C7 or CA. What's wrong with the C7s? What is wrong with... I like the C7. What's wrong with the C7? Hold up. Hold up. I like the C7s. What's wrong with the C7? C7 Corvette. Oh, there's a whole page dedicated to it on Instagram. Beautiful. What's wrong with the C7s, man? These things look good. Oh my god, dude. Who gets these? Send pic to area of motorized. Send pic to area of motorized. Promote it on Vehicle World. I hate these people. I mean that. I hate them. Dude, C7, come on. C7s look good. I'm not a huge fan of the C8s, but the C7, come on. The C7s look good. I like the C7s. I think they look minty. I wanted to shift to 5th and shifted to 3rd by accident. Oh, scared the crap out of me. All I hear is rev 5K and wastegate fire. If it only went to 5K, you got nothing to worry about. Thankfully, you could have sent that thing to the moon, to the absolute moon. Stoic is 14 to 15, all through idle. Sold the spark coils, NGK plugs, and Cobb AP stage 191 octane flashed. Otherwise, bone stocking cars not beat on by us. On the access port, pull up AVCS left, AVCS right. The values between AVCS left and AVCS right should be within plus or minus... Actually, no, they should only be within 3 of each other. It's not even plus or minus. They should always be within 3. Pull that up. Oh my gosh, doggos. Whoop. Slammed his butt with the door. Don't open that door. What are you doing? If you're going to be in here, no bark. No boof. Pull up those values. They should be between 3 of each other. Are you trying to lure him out of here? I mean, he's fine to be in here as long as he doesn't boof. His boofs are supersonic. Alright, that's fine. That's fine, Yogi. I have the yogurt. Basil, I'm considering a Tesla motor in my Mustang. That sounds like a big swap. Personally, not a huge fan of it, but that sounds like a big swap. My cousin has an Evo X. They're worth money now. His local Mitsubishi dealer sent him an offer monthly to buy it. Highest offer was $50K for his final edition. Dude, that's wild. That's absolutely wild. L has swapped the RX or buy a C7. Dude, these dogs. They like just come in and out. Does anyone else's dogs do that? They just come in and out. Alright, I'm closing this, doggos. They're just meandering around. C6 looks best, sorry. Alright, let me pull up a picture of a C6. Off the top of my head, I can't remember what a C6. C6 Corvette. Let me double check the C6. You think the C6 does look pretty good. I would still take a C7 though. I would personally still take a C7. The C6s look good, I will say that much, but I don't know, I prefer C7. Doggos, dude, they're just in and out. They don't know what they want right now. They're impartial to whatever they want in life. What coilovers do you recommend for daily usage on a WRX? I'm currently looking at BCs. If you're just going to be like daily driving the car, maybe doing a couple track events here and there, weekend spirited driving, that stuff, BCs are totally fine. People are going to hate on BCs on the internet all day long, but bottom dollar, dude. For what, $1,200? You can get BCs on sale for like $1,000. I have used BCs on plenty of cars in the past. I've always been happy with them. I have BCs on the 04 STI. I had BCs on the Evo. I had BCs on the 05 STI. I've used BCs on so many cars, man. My German Shepherd sits on my feet while I poop. So yeah, dude, the Corgi does the same thing. She'll come in there and she'll try to eat the toilet paper. No matter what I'm doing in the bathroom, she'll be like, hey, I'm coming in here, keeping you company. If I'm showering, she'll be like, hey, I'm coming in. I'm going to eat this toilet paper over in the corner. I'm going to dig around on this rug. I'm going to just do whatever I want. Wild. AVCS between 3 and what? So your AVCS left and your AVCS right should always be within 3 of one another. So if one of them is at 10, the other one should be no more than 13 or 7. If one of them is 0, it should be between 0 and 3 between both. They should mirror each other, essentially, with no greater difference than 3. 2015 WRX, I went to shift into 3rd and accidentally hit 5th and nailed it to the floor. My dam dropped immediately. Do I have anything to worry about? Go into your access port, hit reset ECU. That's going to reset your ECU learning, so it's essentially going to forget about that event and all of your other driving events, and you're pretty much going to get a fresh slate. It'll put dam back at 1, so that way it's essentially just losing that event. Or you can continue to drive the car normally, and it'll relearn that process, and then it'll go back up to 1 on its own. If it bothers you that much, just reset ECU learning, drive normal for a little while until the car learns values. If you do reset ECU learning, let the car idle for like 5 to 10 minutes to relearn idle, and you should be fine after that. Ever plan to do a lifted off-road WRX build? Honestly, I have no plans to do that. I do apologize. That's just not what it's just not up my alley. It's not something I enjoy doing. If I was going to do an off-road build, I'd honestly go buy like a Tacoma, old 4Runner, something along those lines. Your blob-eye builds have helped me a ton with my first project, an 05 WRX and Obsidian Black. Nice! Ooh, very nice. I'm glad that the videos have helped on the blobs. Honestly, between the 04 STI out there and the 05 STI Karma, I feel like I've hit every facet of like blob-eye stuff that you could want. You want to know how to install? I've got them right here. People wanted this video specifically for some reason on this 04 STI. You want to know how to install the 3 Defi gauges up on the center pod? I got that. It's on the 05 STI. Someone was specifically asking me to install those on the 04. These are actually going to end up going in either the WRX or the FD. I've got, what is it, like oil pressure, oil temp, and water temp or boost or something? I don't know. The Defi Racer Series, I'll probably put them in the FD if we're being honest, but... any tips for high school WRX guy? Take your time working on the car. Take the time to go through it before you try to modify it. Make sure that everything is obviously healthy before you absolutely send the car. Aside from that, just learn it and enjoy it, man. Best budget coils or max speeding? I will disagree with that 100%. I would not tell anyone to buy a max speeding rod coilover. You know how many emails they send me all the time? Being like, hey, can we send you all of our products and whatnot? I'm sorry, but no. No, I've seen so many pairs of max speeding rod, specifically coilovers, break. You know how unsafe that is? What happens if you're going like 80 and you got a coilover that blows out because you hit a pothole too hard? Dude, that's just asking for a bad time. Personally, I wouldn't suggest max speeding rod coilovers. Got my car serviced at the dealership and found out 2 days later that there was a major software update for it, and that should only be done at the dealership. Fun. What were they updating? Like, what was the software update? I've had like buddies who have cars that when they go to the dealer, they're like, we need to do a software update on your car. Half the time they tell them no, because either the car is tuned or there's something going on with it. They're like, no, don't flash my car with anything. Just do what I came here to do and be on our way. Are Sultan coils bad for a stock car? I've honestly never used them. The only coil pack, we're talking about coil packs here when he said coils. The only coil packs I ever use are OEM and OEM only. That is, I will not use any third-party coil packs. That's personal preference. If you are buying a third-party coil pack for one that's like a little bit better, I know OTL makes some really good ones. But aside from like OTL, OEM is really all I use. Would you ever get an imported Subi? If people didn't hike the price up. Dude, people hike the prices up on JDM cars for absolutely no reason. Okay, I honestly could care less if a car is left-hand drive or right-hand drive. I personally prefer left-hand drive cars over right-hand drive cars, but just because your car is right-hand drive, you think it's worth $15,000 more? Yeah, no, hell no, hell no! No, that needs to stop, dude. I will not pay. I've seen JDM WRXs in the States go for 30, like 20, people asking $25,000 to $30,000. I'm like, hell no, not in 1,000 years. No, I will give you $10K for your 30-year-old Subaru. Like that's what they're worth to me. If somebody reasonably wanted to sell a JDM right-hand drive WRX to me, sure, I'd consider it, but I'm not going to pay $25,000 to $30,000 just because your car's right-hand drive. I don't care enough to do it. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Your videos help me a ton. I'm new to the WRX world, but I've always loved them. Hey, anytime, dude. We've got tons of videos. Anything you could ever think of. I'm sure I got a video for it. I have some Defi gauges. Please buy them off me. 3 gauges, everything you need. 800. Sorry for the ad. I have 3 of them right here. You want to trade? I'll trade you. I'll trade you mine for yours. What you got? What gauges you got? Cylinder 1 misfire on WRX hatch. Not spark plug or coil pack related. Help. Check the injector. That's the next thing you're going to check. If it's not coil pack or coil or spark plug related, check the injector. Electrical wiring and the physical injector itself. Make sure it's not like clogged or looking all nasty. The infotainment system, the update rearranges the climate controls, making them easier to access. I mean, that's not a bad update to do. I've had ones where they like reflash ECMs and whatnot. Best budget coilovers are Racelands. I drove my W. I'll say Racelands are better than Max Speeding Rod. I personally still wouldn't tell people to buy Racelands. I've had surprisingly enough, both of the 04 STIs I've had have come on Racelands, and I've absolutely hated them. I went personal preference on that one. We need the FA20 content. I started the YouTube channel at the wrong time. I'm sorry. I've owned 3 or 4 FA20 WRXs before I started making videos. Maybe one day. I want to get away from Subarus for just a little bit. Give me like 6 to 8 months away from Subarus, and maybe I'll get an FA20 car. Maybe. I'll trade you $800 cash on your end. You'll trade with? No. I'll give you this beautiful Defi oil temp gauge for all 3 of your Defis. Come on, that's a fair trade. Unopened. Brand new. 3 for 1, dude. It's like a BOGO for me. BOGO. FA24 to VA SCI, you won't find me doing it. I'm sorry. I'm also getting fine knock learned without any feedback knock, which is weird. It happens. I mean, it happens. I put royal purple in my STI. Take it out! Basil. Take the royal purple out. Take it out. Put a better oil in there. FD content? Yes, sir! That'll be coming up. I fly down to California on April 22nd to go get the FD and bring it back up here. So, what is that, like 2 weeks? 3 weeks? 2 weeks? I think that's 2 weeks. April... Yeah, it's like a little less than 2 weeks now. We'll be getting the FD. If someone wanted to build an 05 WX similar to how you built the hatch, is that unrealistic? Both the green speed version and the 700? No, it's not unrealistic at all. Anyone can do it. I've got videos showing you guys how to do it every step of the way, from building the motor to building the fuel system to building the turbo kit. It's completely realistic. As long as you're willing to... If you don't know how to do it, obviously there's going to be a learning curve, but dude, it's totally realistic. Anyone can do it. EJ for life, never apologize, Tanner. It's not that I'm against the FA20 or the FA24, okay? That's not it at all. I think the FA20 is a fantastic engine for like daily drivers, low to moderate power street cars. I think the FA24 is a fantastic engine that responds well. It's not an engine I enjoy though. Like, I've worked on them. I've modded some of them. It's not personally an engine I like. If I'm going to be going to the extent of doing an engine swap into a car, I'm not going to take the FA24 and put it into one of my cars. I'm going to take an engine that I want to put into one of my cars. If I were to do another engine swap into one of the Subarus, it would probably be an EZ30 next, if we're being honest. Like, FA24 and FA20 is not at the top of my list. This is my personal preference. It's personal preference. What's my opinion on a Rotella? It was like a really good oil for Subarus years ago, and then they changed the formula. Now I think it's just more diesel driven. I personally wouldn't use it anymore. I know I've already asked a few times, but why is the FB25D considered bad for boosting? It's an econo engine. It's not an engine made for power. I mean, obviously you could take any engine, build it for power. But if you're just looking at just an FB25 and you're trying to make power on an FB25, you're going to be wasting more money trying to make power of that FB25 as you would. You'd be better off selling it and doing a different platform. If you're only considering doing an FB20 or an FB25 because that's just what you have at the time, I would honestly put your monies in your piggy bank and save it for a different build later on. It's just not worth it right now. Photos of the FD. Let me see if I can... I know I have some on my phone. I think I have some on Instagram, so give me a minute. Give me un momento, and I will pull up... If I show you the photos of the FD, isn't that going to ruin the surprise? I'm just joking. It ain't going to ruin the surprise. Let me see if I can find it. Give me un momento, por favor, senor, and I will dig through all of my Insta messages to find it. Where's it at? Come on. Here it is. Okay, now let me find a couple of photos. I like it, dude. I think that it's not my preferred color, I'll say that much, but... Oh, I have to use the app. Oh, lame. I have to use the app on my phone. Okay, hold up. Let me grab my phone. Let me grab my phone and pull up a couple photos of it. FD pics for members only. You guys got what? I'll show the same picture and I'll post some other ones in the members tab here later. I don't have a ton of photos of the FD right now. I have a handful of them. I'll show... Which one do I have saved? Whatever one I come across first on my phone is the one I'll show you guys. That one's not a good photo. I don't like that photo. Let me go to this photo. Here. I'll show you guys that photo of it. And the camera won't even focus on it. Come on! Focus! Here, let me hide my face. Right there. That's one photo of the FD that I'll show you guys. That's the one photo I'll show you guys. You should buy Devin's 2016 STI. I don't want it. He's selling the black one. I don't want it. Thoughts on the new FA24WX and their power potential? I talked on that earlier. I think they're going to do great, but I think they're going to run into the exact same problem as the FA20s do, where they're going to run out of direct injection. You're going to have to add port injection, fuel injection controller, all of these other things. But they're doing great so far. How hard is it to build an H6? Do you think it'll become easier in the future? I don't necessarily think it'll become easier in the future. However, I do think that after what I've gone through now, I think they're a lot easier than what I initially made them out to be. Now that I personally have the experience and I've gone through the trauma of the 6-cylinder, I honestly feel like I could do a lot. I feel like I could do a 6-cylinder a lot better, a lot more efficient, and a lot stronger now. Honestly, the first time you do it is a learning curve. The second time you do it, you're kind of learning a little bit more. And then the third time you do it, you're kind of getting your hands on the grasp a little bit more, if you know what I mean. Hopefully I don't got to do it a fourth time, but I feel like third time's charm on this one. SVX chassis win. Why would I need to buy the whole SVX when I just have the engine? I've got the good part of the SVX already. Looks pretty dull. Are you going to wrap it? Maybe. I don't know. I want to see the car in person before I make any decisions on the FD stuff. Yo, so excited for the FD content. Here from PR, we have those 13B producing good wheel horsepower. Is that 13B or 20B? I believe it's a 13B. It's a 2-rotor. I know it's a... God, what is it? A turbo? It's a turbo 2? I could be saying that completely wrong because I'm still learning a lot of the FD stuff. I believe it's a turbo 2 13B. I'm pretty sure. Oh, it's a... I don't know. I don't know. I'm still learning the FD stuff. I'm pretty sure it's a turbo 2 13B. I could be totally wrong on that. And I could sound like a complete idiot. I think that's right, though, so I don't know. If you're doing a 6-cylinder, don't go with the EZ. Find an EG33 Subaru Performance is a good video. I mean, yes. Okay, what Patrick said here, between EZ and EG, yes and no. I'm going to say yes and no on what Patrick said. If you are going to the extent of building 6-cylinder for power, yes, the EG33 has thicker cylinder walls than an EZ30 and an EZ36 does. However, if you are building one for power, what you're going to end up doing is either sleeving it or close decking it, which kind of defeats the cylinder wall thing. Personally, I still prefer the EG over the EZ. It's my own conundrum that I live in. But there's ways around it. Stock for stock, yes, the EG33 cases are better than the EZs. But once you go to the extent of sleeving and closed decking, it doesn't really matter too much. It's kind of basic, but red FDs. I like the red ones. Dude, the yellow ones. The yellow ones are the super rare ones, right? It could be. I'm pretty sure. Looks good. I like it. That's what I'm saying. It could also just be something to not worry about, but I would look into getting a Pro Tune. Also a good thing. Always looking to a good Pro Tune. FD will be sick. I'm excited for the FD, man. I actually have absolutely no experience in FDs, so I said I wanted to be completely lost in a car again, and I feel like the FD is the best way. I feel like that's a really good way. Best oil for break-in on Type RA and D25 heads. That entirely depends on what all of your clearances are set to. I don't know what your motor was built to. I don't know what your main bearing clearances are, your rod bearing clearances, any of that stuff. I mean, obviously, break-in oil is going to be break-in oil. Just look up some break-in oil. If if you don't know what all your clearances or your tolerances are spec'd out to, just go get some like 1040 break-in oil and use that. You're going to be changing out that break-in oil after 50, 100, and 500 miles anyways, so it's not a long-term oil you're going to be using. Safe to say that EGT reading 1800 was false? I would assume so, yes. Can we get some POV driving vids with the hatch? Yes. Now that I have fixed all the little problems, yes. Once we get a non-rainy day, I will go out and I will get a POV driving video. I will convince Matt to go with me up into the mountains, and we'll go get some fun driving videos with the hatch. Can we get... Oh, yeah, yes. Voice in the Wilderness. I like that name. I don't know why, but I like the name. Would you ever build a mini truck, like a Nissan or Boxer? Oh, what is it? I think it's a Datsun Sunny. That is something that I wanted to build for a while. I'm pretty sure it's a Sunny. Yes, one of these. I don't know if this counts as a mini truck, but these things are dope. The Datsun... Is it? Yeah. No, it's a Nissan Sunny. My apologies. These things are sick. I like them. Look at those things. Obviously, that's one that's already been done up and everything like that. But if I were to do one, 100% this, dude. This thing's so cool. I remember I saw one of these in person a long time ago. And then money on the cake. Money on the cake! Absolutely money on the cake. I don't even know what that means, but I'm saying it. If you don't need to specifically warm up your fluids and engine before cold cranking, break-in oil is negligible, though, compared to how it's broken into. It's a fair point. FC has a buzzer at red line to tell you when to shift because the 13B was so smooth. That's actually kind of cool. Oh, what was with the Subaru Slander? Oh, dude! I totally spaced on. I forgot I titled this that. Dude, it's wild. I've been arguing. You know, it's not even worth my time to be doing it. The amount of random arguments people come up with to just, like, poop all over Subarus is just getting so stretched out now. I was arguing with some dude on Instagram about boost leaks, and he somehow thinks that boost leaks are only a Subaru specific problem. It's just people stretching. People are stretching now. I see it on Instagram and TikTok all the time. Just to like grasp any type of like Subaru slander at this point. It's wild. It's absolutely wild. Trade you FD knowledge with EJ knowledge. You got a deal. You got a deal right there. I put all the EJ knowledge I have out there for the most part, but you got a deal, man. I'm really curious about the electric steering rack swap on the STI. Bolts right in on the VAs in the upload I did today. It shows you how to wire everything in. It's honestly stupid easy to wire in. Anyone can do it. I stay getting roasted for having... Dude, it's wild. People are just stretching now for like the Subaru slander. It's insane. This dude was arguing... It was legit just the dumbest thing. He was trying to tell me that Subarus and Subaru owners only have boost leaks and how it's a Subaru problem. I'm like... You don't think an Evo 8, 9, Focus RS, a Golf R, you don't think any of these other, any turbo platform or even naturally aspirated platforms can have a boost leak problem? It's absurd. Divorced or bell mouth downpipe. If you're staying internal wastegate, get divorced. If you're going external wastegate, get bell mouth. That's just typically the general rule of thumb that I follow. LMAO. Boost leaks are Subaru. Dude, it's insane. I can't. I sell Chevy vehicles and drive an STI. I get made fun of all the time. Dude, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Money on the cake needs to be merch. I got you. Oh, speaking of that, 6-star project car. Thank you. Let me grab this real quick. Let me grab this. 6-star project car coming in clutch with the goodies. Hold up. I'm just bringing everything over here right now. I got stuff. All right. I got the stuffs and the cakes and the flaming beyonds. I'm not gonna pick up that other box because I really don't want to. Okay. Okay, I've got news for the universe. Okay, so first of all, there's gonna be another merch drop coming up. I haven't done one of these in a while because I wanted to wait for the time to be right. But we're doing another giveaway with you guys. I'm actually really excited for this one. So, because I am building EJ Motors now, and I'm trying to get, obviously, my name out there more for building EJ Motors, we're going to be doing another merch drop. There's going to be a winner of this one. We're going to be doing a giveaway. It is an EJ-based giveaway this time, so I do apologize, you guys, because that's just kind of what I'm pushing right now. We are going to be doing a giveaway on a built EJ with Manly connecting rods, King bearings. So this is more than the giveaways that I've done in the past for built motors. CP pistons. So someone's going to get a nice set of CP pistons, mainly H-Tough rods. Now, on top of just a built short block, I also have the brand new crank over there. I just don't want to grab it because it's kind of heavy. You're also going to get GSC intake exhaust valves and a set of Kelford cams for a built long block. I am not going to do your head stuff. I will build you a short block, whoever wins, and then you're going to have to get your own springs and retainers, but those are cheap. You're going to get intake exhaust valves and then a set of Kelford 272 cams. So, someone's going to get a full built long block, essentially. You're going to have to pay for the head stuff yourself, obviously, but you're going to get the parts for me and a built short block. So, thank you for reminding me, 6-star. So, I'm working on the new merch stuff. That'll be coming soon, so someone will get a nice built motor to be able to make some sauce. So, the short block will be capable for... It's a built short block for 500 horsepower. It's still going to be using ARP 2000 head studs. If you want to run head studs, you're going to have to get your own. Those are also pretty cheap. But for the most part, all the big ticket items you're already getting. Been needing a replacement engine for years. So these cams are the exact same ones that I actually use in the WRX. They are Kelford 272s. These are actually my new favorite cam. I actually really like these things. So they smell beautiful. They smell beautiful, they look beautiful, and they make fun chop noises in your WRX. So someone's going to be getting essentially a built long block. I will build your short block. You will just have to build your heads, but you will have all of the parts to build your heads except for springs and retainers. But I might actually just buy springs and retainers so that way you guys can, whoever wins can just have it. So essentially you just get a full built long block. So excited for that. That'll be coming in the next couple of weeks. But I wanted to show you guys, I've been stockpiling all the parts here to be able to build the motor and whatnot. I have to send these CP pistons out to out front to have them bore and hone the cases for these CPs, so it'll be dope. 272, that's spicy goodness, right? Dude, this 270, I like these cams a lot. You do have to clearance your heads for these cams, so do keep that in mind, but figured I'd start getting that out there for you guys. It'll probably be like 2-week turnaround time to send the pistons down to out front, get the cases back and everything like that, so excited for that. Deal sent you a DM on Instagram. Perfect. Dude, did you steal my parts list? Well, except cams. That's for the build for the LGT. Yeah, you caught me, man. You caught me. Those are some real Lopey boy cams. Dude, I love these cams. Like I said, I got the same ones in the WRX. So, it should be fun. It should be a fun time. Anyone, I always says how long you're until head gaskets play. Dude, it's wild. Every single time. I like the, I'll kiss you for him. Don't tempt me, brap. I like a weird time. I've been neglecting a replacement engine for years. My gauges would be a great... Send them over, man. I'll give those away, too. I'm not sure what none of that is, but I need it. You need it all, my man. It's a built motor. It'll be good for... You can make 500 horsepower easy with this motor. Obviously, you'll need all your supporting mods like turbo, fuel system, and whatnot, but it's all right there. Bro, it's going to be capable of some good power, right? Right? So like I said, I'm just trying to get... I've been getting like 1-2 short block sales a month, so I'm hoping getting this media short blocks out there a bit more helps. So we're going to give one away. It's always a fun time. Hey guys, imagine a perfect world where Subaru kept making the WRX get more and more power in each generation. That'd be nice, right? How much did you get the hatch for? I think I bought the hatch for $21,000. I think $21,000. I bought it out of California and then had it shipped up. Very hyped for the RX7. Anything coming for the GTI at any point? Yes and no. I mean, I have parts here for the GTI. It's just we're not trying to modify the GTI right this second. Once we get more cars running, we'll talk about modifying the GTI. When is the giveaway? It'll probably be in, I don't know, a month or so. I still have to finish working on merch designs, get samples made, get everything sent here, get the cases back from out front, build the short block, and then all that stuff. So probably in the next like month or so, the giveaway will probably be live. So it'll be like standard giveaway that we've done in the past. So this time, instead of like options, this one is strictly EJ based, unfortunately. So if you have an EJ, awesome for you. Or if you don't have an EJ and you want to participate, you can sell it. You can do whatever you want with it. You can make it into a coffee table. You can throw it in the garbage if you want. You can put firecrackers in it. I don't care. It's whatever you want to do with it. Make sure you compression test that FD before you hand the money. I'm rebuilding the engine before anything. So there's not even an engine in the car. There's nothing in the engine bay. There's a subframe and like all the little accessories. Everything else is all in bins. So long story short, The FD is sat for 10 years. The dude I'm getting it off of bought it from his buddy who was going to LS swap it, and then didn't LS swap it, and then this guy bought it. Really nice dude, by the way. Was going to put the 13B back in it. Ended up having other projects that he wanted to work on. So I'm buying the FD. So it's already all torn apart. Everything's already in bins. So we're going to take the 13B apart, rebuild the 13B. I'm debating or not. I don't know. Maybe you can answer this, 3GP Media. I don't have a lot of rotary knowledge. I was planning on having it Bridgeported while I had it apart before I rebuild it. I don't know if that's a good idea or not with it being my first rotary thing. Maybe I should. I was watching a Rob Dobb video. He said don't do that if it's your first one and just kind of learn it. So, I don't know. So I was kind of just going to play it by ear and see what happens. Just going to kind of play it by hand. And Red, don't worry, I got you, man. We haven't gotten to the Chat GPT stuff. How do I enter the giveaway? I'll give more details on that once it gets a little bit closer. Like I said, normally it's like X amount of dollars you spend on merch gets you one entry into the giveaway. There's no cap on entries, but obviously spend within reason. Whole kit and caboodle type deal. So that'll be in like a month to a half or so. Woo! The live is back. And Miss C is not gonna lie. What's up, Vincent? How you doing, baby? What's going on, man? You built my hatchback to a T. Took me 2 years. The only real difference is I'm on a Motec, way over budget now. Dude, those Motecs get expensive real quick. Like, real freaking quick. As a rotary guy, okay, stay away from Bridgeporting on the first one. Okay. Don't Bridgeport on the first one. What about a street port? Do I street port on the first one, or do I just do no... I want the brap noises. Like, that's a... How do I get the brap noises? I'm joking. I want to learn the platform before I do anything wild. It's got the stock twins with it. I don't plan on putting the stock twins back on there. I do plan on putting the RX7 on a Haltech. I think an Elite 1500 is perfectly fine for that. Like I said, I have a lot of research to do before I start buying anything. Street port at most. Okay. I got the okay for a street port, but not a bridge port. So we'll do a street port. I am going to put the RX7 on a Haltech because I have absolutely no idea if you can even tune the stock RX7 ECUs. I just don't know. I haven't, like I said, I haven't looked enough yet. I've really only researched in how to rebuild the engine because that's really the first thing that I'm doing. But yeah, you know, that'll be fun. That'll be a good time. Stay away from the Bridgeport for the. You just said for the first one, so the second one means I can do a Bridgeport, which is same on hatch, same hatch, 21K, 104K miles, same time you got years. The rescue wagon. I want to lift all four. Yes, do it. Do it. Vargas Brothers are the OG rotary guys from the early Hoonigan days. Like I said, I've been watching a lot of like random rotary videos on like figuring out how to rebuild these things. If you make merch with the hatch, I'm snagging some. I got you. I have a couple designs that I'm doing on my whiteboard that are super top secret over there right now. You'll see. You'll see. They'll come out soon. I'm just waiting on samples. And a couple designs I got to finish. You can probably street port it for the first one, but once you Bridgeport, I think minimum 700 RPM higher idle and much touchier. Okay, we'll do street port. We'll stick with street port. We'll do street port. I was looking into like cam and valve options for the FD to figure out what to do with the cylinder head and whatnot. So just a whole bunch of stuff I've been looking into. That was obviously a joke. Okay, don't think I'm serious when I said I'm looking into valves and cams and all that stuff right now. That was a joke. Don't flame me for that one. You can't use the OE ECU, you need a standalone. Okay, perfect. So Haltech Elite 1500 is probably what I'll go with. That seems to be a popular option with the FDs. Seems to be. Bridgeport is where you really get the brap at lower RPM, but then again, tougher to start, tune, and maintain. Alright, we'll just do street port. Street port. That's been decided. Go with the street port on the first one. I'm pretty sure I can do it myself. I'm pretty sure there's just a template you print out online and you tape it to the rotor housing, and then you do it. I don't think maybe I shouldn't do that. I don't know. We'll figure it out. It can't be that hard, right? If I can build a Subaru, I can build a rotary, right? Taylor Tuning is about to tune my 6466 STI IAG Stage 4 Tough Block, Firelock gaskets, head games, pill heads, S2 cans. Hopefully, we can get close to the hatch on your get close to your hatch on power. Do it, dude. 6460. What out of curiosity, what rotator kit are you using, Corey? Which one? I've seen you post up in the the 15 plus Subaru pages every now and then. I creep. I lurk in the shadows. Would you get a veil side kit for the RX7? No. I had this conversation with Matt the other day. I honestly think the veil side kit looks ugly on the RX7s. Personal taste and opinion. I don't think I don't think it looks good. It's not my taste. LOL on the cam and valve option. What if the camera magically fell and we could see the merch designs? That's not gonna... No, dude, then I gotta go get a new camera because that'll probably break the lens on that thing. That thing ain't falling. Would a rotary WRX technically work? I mean, anything could technically work with money and effort put into it, yes. ETS. 64... So, I was actually talking to Josh with this. 6466 STIs and ETS rotated kits, because of that bend on the downpipe, you lose a good amount of downpipe priority on tuning. So you lose a little bit. I think a good comparison was Brandon's car if you watch Josh's channel and mine, because ours are very similar, 6466 similar builds. He had an ETS kit. I had my DIY kit that I made, and because my downpipe priority was a little bit better, I was able to make more power at lower boost. Just keep that in mind. I think you'll get close. I think you'll get close. Was your heart not in it for the Evo? Honestly, I was really excited for the Evo, and then as I worked on the Evo more and more and more, I realized that the Evo it wasn't for me, if that makes sense. Like, if you ever got in a car and you're like really excited about it, and then you go to start actually working on it and you don't enjoy it. That was me with the Evo. Like, I was big hype when I started it, and then it just kept... My motivation dwindled on the Evo. I love Evos. I just don't think that they're the car for me, if that makes sense. Hot take. Dude, I'm just saying. OEM lowered in wheels and you're good on the FT. I like OEM plus style builds. I'm not a huge body kit type of dude. Like, I have a body kit, obviously, on the 17 STI, but I really like that one. Someone's the LS coming for the FD. Joking, don't kill me. We'll see how many rotaries I go through. I'm joking. I don't plan on putting an LS in that car. I like the idea of a rotary. I've always wanted to play with a rotary, so I think it'd be fun. Does downpipe priority make more of an impact at lower RPM then? I believe it makes more of an impact at higher RPM when you're higher up in boost, because you're trying to push out more exhaust than you would at a lower RPM, if that makes sense. It's just the downpipe priority on ETS ones. If you look at it, if this is like the turbo, it's like the sharpest 90 ever. So the exhaust has to go straight up and out, whereas on mine, on the hatch, it kind of flows down nicer, so it's a little bit easier for the gases to evacuate. I'm addicted to all-wheel drive GSX Eclipses in black on black. Love them, but I own a S2000. It's pretty fun. Dude, I was looking into S2000s also recently. They look like fun. I don't know how much. I want to test drive one. I want to drive one. But they look like fun. Mazda tricks and racing beat will be your friends for rotary. Perfect. What's up, man? How's your Easter? Honestly, I didn't even know it was Easter until halfway through the day. I just forgot today was even a holiday. But so far not bad. So far not bad at all. The aftermarket part prices for Evos are insane. That's also very true. I did not understand how expensive Evo parts were before I got an Evo. What year STI drive shaft went into your hatch? I have a 2021 drive shaft and was wondering if I had an R180 and 6-speed, would that year drive shaft work in a hatchback? I don't think it does. It might. I'm not 100% sure. I have a 2014 STI. So I have a 2014 STI drive shaft in my hatch. The general rule of thumb that I have followed is stick with the generation of components that you're using for your 6-speed swap. So if you have an 08 to 14 WRX and you're doing a 6-speed swap, use 08 to 14 STI components. If you have a 15 to 21 WRX and you're doing a STI 6-speed swap, use obviously VA STI components. If you're doing it in a GD, obviously use GD components. Wagons and sedans are a little bit different in the GD realm because axle length and whatnot, but that's typically the rule of thumb that I've gone by for 6-speed swaps. I can't fit in an S2K. I think I could fit in an S2K. I'm only 5'7", so I feel like I could fit in an S2K. They are also pricey from what I was looking at. They seem up there a little. Then again, all like used JDM cars right now are pricey. So, what's your dream car? What's your dream car that isn't a Subaru? I personally love the RX-8 or the Datsun 280Z. Like, are we talking like obtainable dream car or unobtainable dream car? I guess any unobtainable dream car could become obtainable one day. That's a good question. If I could have any car out there, I don't know. There's so many. There's so many. If I could have any car, alright, well, we'll go full send on a Miata. If you could build an EJ, 13 Brew is easier building an EJ now. Perfect. That's good to know. EJs for me are like, I can do EJ with my eyes closed at this point. Oh, what would be the first? Oh my god, what would I buy if I could have any car? What is the one I'm thinking of right now? And I'll probably get flamed for, but I absolutely love these things. It's a wagon. Is this it? Is this what I'm thinking of? That's not even it. I don't know. I'll come back to this question. I don't know how to answer it. I know a guy who wants to sell his S2000 track used. Buy it. Send it. If you're 5'7", you'll fit perfectly into an S2K. Sick. And they do have the best feeling transmission in the game. I don't know about that. Ooh. That's one of them though. Like a 911 GT3 RS would be like my unobtainable dream car because those things are stupid expensive and I absolutely love them. A Ford GT40 would be really cool. An obtainable dream car? I don't know. I don't know, man. I love Grand Nationals. I was actually just talking to Matt about Grand Nationals the other day. Oh! I know. I got it. Okay? I know what it is. Oh, dude. You guys are going to love this when I show this to you. Here we go. I think somebody just said this. This is peak automotive performance. Absolute peak automotive performance. Look at that. Can you get any better than this? You can't. This is it. This is top of the line. There's nothing that outperforms the old station wagons with specific wood paneling down the side. Gotta have the wood paneling. Otherwise, it's not same. Go on. Wagon is a good start. GT2 RS. Ooh, just curious why you chose Bader for tuning as opposed to Tuned by Wally getting an STI soon. I have a relationship with Josh. I've known Josh for a couple of years. I trust Josh. Obviously, tuning is a big trust thing that you put into someone. Honestly, Josh tuned my 05 STI when he first started learning tuning. The wood grain. Josh made it very clear to me when he first started tuning the 05 STI that he was learning to tune, and I was like, all right, cool, we can go through this together. I totally understand that you're learning the process. We can figure this out as things go. So, building that relationship with Josh, it's just gotten stronger. I trust Josh. Josh tunes all of my EJs, my EGs, any of my Subarus. I go to Josh. He's my dude for tuning, and he does a fantastic job at it. Travis Pastrami already did the wood. You got me there. Actually ran into Bader Texas 2K. Super nice dude. He's a super nice guy. I don't know where people get this misconception of Josh on the internet that that he can be mean. I mean, I'm sure anybody out there can be mean, but Josh is actually a super nice dude. How hard do you think tuning is, open source tuning your own car? I have very minimal experience with self-tuning, I guess you could say. The Haltech in the EG, I've done some very basic tuning on, and that was just getting the car started. And doing that, the biggest contributing factor that gave me the most confidence in trying to tune my own car and actually getting a base Mac built was the HPA classes, the online ones, the High Performance Academy ones. I went through the Haltech classes to learn how the software works, the basic parameters of tuning, all of those things to be able to learn stoic values for different fuel types, all of this other stuff. And it's just don't go into tuning blind where you're page up on boost, add more fuel. You're going to blow up your car. At the end of the day, you're going to blow up your car. There's a lot that goes into it. You need to understand how one change completely affects the rest of the engine. So take the time. I would honestly say buy the HPA classes if you're going to want to learn how to self-tune, because they will honestly give you the confidence and a lot of the knowledge you need to get started. But that is the big key thing there, is it's only going to give you the knowledge to be able to get started. From there, you're going to have to kind of self-learn and figure it out as you go. If you're going to want the old wagon, build a Subaru family. You're going to get Josh tune the FD. I don't know if Josh would feel comfortable tuning the spinning Dorito. I think there's specific tuners for FDs, and I think as much as I trust Josh with all of my Subarus, I don't think an FD is something he'd want to tune. So I think we'll go with a tuner who's more specialized in FDs and rotary engines. That's just it's typically how it goes. Like tuners typically have their little facet of the cars they tune, and they grow and learn and expand on those ones. So when the time comes, we'll find a rotary specific tuner. I think that'll just be the best bet and the easiest way to go about it. Do you have a specific reason for choosing precision turbos compared to other brands? Garrett, Zona, Rotor X. Yes and no. So precision turbos are generally going to be way cheaper. Not way cheaper, but they're going to be cheaper than Garrett turbos. If you're building a car that's a dedicated track car, I wouldn't use a precision turbo because I would probably use a Garrett. If you're going to be using a car for track use mainly, where you're going to be on throttle all the time, I would get something along the lines of a Garrett, as they run water to cool the coolant to actually cool the turbo. Precisions, I have absolutely no issues with running a precision turbo as a street car, a fun weekend car, a drag car, because it's not living on throttle 100% of its life, or even like 80% of its life. If a car is seeing consistent abuse and you want that turbo to live, you're going to want one that's water cooled, which aka that's where Garrett comes in. As for why I buy precision, like I said, most of the cars that I build them for street use, I build them for weekend use, I build them to go out and have fun with. It really depends on the application that you're doing at the end of the day. And like I said, precision is normally a little bit cheaper. If you go out and you send a precision on a track and you're living on throttle 80 to 90% of the time at watt or up higher in the RPM band, you're going to kill the precision turbo pretty quick. This is my take on it. If you're building something, honestly, when it comes down to it later on with Blue, we'll probably end up swapping to a Garrett turbo. For now, we have a precision on there. But later on, we'll probably swap to a Garrett. What would you recommend for an upgrade for a stock 2020 WRX? I'm still paying on the car and don't want to mess with the warranty. Do cosmetic things. Do suspension things. Do things that make the car more fun for you. Just don't touch anything in the engine. Off limits if you're trying to keep your warranty. I mean, if I had the FD, I'd start with a good street port and OEM Plus build with new 8.8 diff. Then after having some fun with it, I go to a bigger turbo semi-bridge. See, all right, that's what we're going to do then. Maybe. I don't know. Street port, OEM Plus, single turbo conversion. I'm getting rid of the twins. The twin turbos are coming off. They're not using those at all. I don't want to mess with the twin turbo compound system. I'd rather just have one decent single turbo. I'll probably put a Garrett actually on the FD. We'll put a Garrett turbo on the FD. I've never used a Garrett before, so we'll use that one as the test car. Do's and don'ts for getting my 2018 STI out of winter storage tomorrow. Charge battery. Change any fluids that may need to be changed if they've been sitting for a long time. If it's just winter, so why are you storing your Subaru for the winter? Just out of curiosity. Are you in like the Northeast? If you're in the Northeast, I understand, because you don't want to get like salt on it and have it rust out and whatnot. That's why I kept my car stock when I passed the highway. I put my see, there you go. First mods, better tires, lighter OEM size wheels, and steel braided brake lines. Those are all good first mods to do right there. Are D25 better than B25 heads? It's subjective, honestly. I prefer B25 heads if you're building something that... So D25 heads, the only main difference between D25 and B25. D25 has a different chamber volume, I guess you could say. The valves are the same size. Cams, I believe, are same. You have secondary air injection built into D25 heads that you don't have on B25 heads, unless you have later model B25 heads, but I think those are actually V25 heads for 07 STI, so I'm pretty sure between 04 and 06 STI, they're all B25 heads that don't have secondary air injection built into them or anything like that. So, honestly, it just kind of depends on what you're doing. D25s are going to be cheaper than B25s most of the time, but B25s, in my opinion, are a little more desired. Are you still going to do the RS Coupe? Yes, that is still on the slate to be built in the near future. The stock compounds are a pain. Perfect, getting rid of them. V-mount over front mount. Also, that is what we are doing. My buddy Tony, when I was in the Army, actually had an FD, and I remember when he was building that thing. So we will do the V-mount setup, because I know there's room for it, and I know they make kits for it, so that is. Twin scroll are wild in rotary engines. So twin scroll Garrett is what I'm hearing I should do for the FD. We'll do that. Hey, I kind of want the new RS. I'm leaning that way, yes. Out of curiosity, Seth, why? What about the new RS is appealing to you? That is what I'm curious about. Not that there's anything wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with the new RS if that's what you want, but curious. Stock for stock, the D25 flow a hair better too. See, there you go. E85 or water methanol injection. I prefer E85. I mean, they have their pros and cons. Water meth, you got to make sure the tank always stays full. E85, you got to make sure that you have the ethanol content percentage that you're supposed to have. So, I mean, pros and cons. Vinny, also appreciate the dono, man. So excited for the FD build. Legit has been a dream car since I was a kid. I've wanted an FD for a long time. And, dude, FD, I'm not going to lie, FD prices are absolutely insane right now. And they will probably continue to get more insane. But that is why we're getting this one. It's completely torn apart, so we're getting it in a price range that I can actually afford. If it was a fully assembled FD and everything like that, there's no way I'd be able to afford it at the end of the day. So, if you're looking for like a dream car of yours, try to find, and you don't mind putting in the work, find one that's like torn down a little bit or doesn't run or has a blown up engine or something, and then put the love and the time you need into it. What was my MOS when I served? And thank you for service. I was a 15 Whiskey. I was stationed at Fort Polk. I was a UAS operator, so I flew drones. I did one deployment over to JBAD in Afghanistan, and came back and went back down to Louisiana. Got out of the Army in 2015, and then moved back up here to Washington. So hey, anytime, man. Appreciate the support. I just hydro locked my 2015 WRX with 120K in. Insurance says it's a total loss. I want to keep it, but put a new engine with a little more power. What should I do? See what you can buy it back for from insurance. If you can buy it back for a reasonable price, buy it back from insurance for a reasonable price. Take the difference in what they give you for the total out value of the car. Buy a new FA20. Honestly, all you'd have to do is buy a short block. Buy a new FA20 short block. Have the heads gone through. Remachine the heads. Valves, cams if you want. I know there's like one company that makes cams now for the FA20s. Completely rebuild it, put it all back together, you'll be good to go, man. Hydro lock. It's really weird that they total out a car for a hydro lock when it would just need a new short block. But, I mean, that's what I would do if it was mine. I wanted to keep it. Have you seen Mighty Car Mod Subaru Levorg? They swapped it all to an STI. So, I have. I talked to Marty before they started doing that. About them doing the EZ30 swap in that thing. So, super cool dude over there at Mighty Car Mods also. And really cool car that they did. No turbo. The rain will last longer than 180k miles. I'm a rally guy. Lots of snow and rain here. Oh, that's fair. That's fair. That's totally fair. Tips on getting my 2018 STI out of winter storage tomorrow. Did we just talk about that one? Did we just change the fluids, charge the battery if you need to, check the spark plugs, make sure that everything's Gucci, air in the tires. I mean, there's not really much you got to do. I mean, it's not like coolant or brake fluid or anything goes bad over time. So just pull it out. Honestly, just do oil change, change filter, drive it, enjoy it. Twin scroll Borg Warner for the FD, man. Lightest rotating assemblies available and a very Bob Wagner's. I haven't looked into Bob Wagner's too much. Mainly, obviously, as a Subaru dude. I've never looked into Bob Wagner's because the physical size of the turbo is absolutely enormous. I'll look into him, though. I'll look into him. I get 20 plus average. That's actually not bad. Warning, FD is going to stink. Premix. That's alright. That's alright, man. I plan on running. So, one of the things when I was going through FD research, and you guys can correct me on this if I'm totally wrong on it. I was watching a lot of Rob Dom's videos. He, like some of the biggest reliability things for rotaries. He was saying premix, E85, tapering the rotor edge. Apparently, there's people that do that. Doweling the engine. So, I mean, I want to do, the reliability stuff to the FD, so I'm trying to, learn for that stuff, so that way I can kind of get it figured out, but it can't be that difficult. You ever think you're going to get an Evo 10? At some point, yes. At some point. That is a car on my list that I would like to own. Yes. Thinking about upgrading my engine for some small things. What can I do 2013 WRX as far as horsepower? Nate, go back and watch the series on my WRX build, the version 1 of it, when we kept the stock block, stock trans, all that stuff in there. That should give you some really good ideas for what you can do for small power increases. Bro, what is up? How you been? Not too bad, Ham. How you doing, man? You doing good? How was everyone's Easter, by the way? I totally forgot it was Easter till halfway through the day. Everyone have a good Sunday? I have a Bob Wagner on my 2015 WRX9 right now. It's very fast and light, yet then a Precision 5858. Oh, okay. All right, I'll look into the Bob Wagners. I should have kept my 2020 WRX with 55k miles still under warranty, or should I sell it and get a built 11 to 13 STI sedan. I kind of want the previous gen, but most of my friends say I should keep mine. I mean, if you want the older one, get the older one. That's one thing I've never understood is why are you going to listen to... If it doesn't matter what your friends tell you, what you think. Like, if you want a different car, obviously it's nice to have external input from your friends. But if they're saying keep the car because, like, styling or something like that, then that's entirely up to you. I remember when my first STI I had was an 08 STI hatch. I loved that hatch to death. But I sold that 08 STI for an 07 STI because I wanted the previous generation. I wanted the looks, I wanted the styling, I wanted everything like that. People are like, why are you selling your newer car for an older car? I was like, I like it more. I want the older one. So it's like, if you want the older one for it, then get the older one. Just make sure that you're buying a solid unit and you shouldn't have any like crazy problems. The last 13B was a twin scroll. I got to experience would press you to the seat from 2400 RPM to redline. From Jesus. I'm excited for it, man. Add rotors to the FD. We're going to keep it a 2-rotor for a while until I get super familiar with these things. And then maybe we'll do a 3-rotor. Maybe. Maybe. Mine was good. Finally got my STI out of storage. Very nice. Do you have any... do you have a budget AOS or catch can you recommend for an 05 WRX? If you're looking for an AOS, the only one I really suggest is Cobb or IAG. They're the exact same AOS, except for Cobb's is EO or carb certified. If you're looking for a catch can, like any reasonable catch can will get the job done. Radium makes a really good one also. My Easter was me diagnosing AC issues only to find out it was just low refrigerant. Hey, well that's an easy fix though. That's an easy fix. Can I put a little bit of E85 in my 2020 WRX without tune? You can put like a little bit. Like I'd maybe put like a half gallon, nothing over that, just to like clear up some potential knock issues. That's probably what I'd do. So Bob Wagner for the FD. All right, everyone's saying Bob Wagner. We'll do the Bob Wagner. I'm looking at some Bob Wagners. I've actually never... I'm guessing EFR series for the Bob Wagners. That's what I would assume. Say your SCI is going out of warranty and you're going to swap the engine. Should I build an EJ or an FA? What? That's not for me to decide. That's not for... I can give you the info, but that's for you to decide. What do you want out of the car? You want high horsepower? You do EJ. You want good gas mileage and low power response? Get an FA. Not low power, but like low RPM power response. Get an FA. They're like two totally different ones. Don't forget premix. I learned premix is like engraved into my brain now. Have you heard about the SoCal porting? They do turbo upgrades? I have. I want to get the V4 turbo upgrade for my WRX and the options. Honestly, if you want a good turbo upgrade, SoCal porting does fantastic work. I've seen some of their turbos in person. Really, the only two like bolt-on options for WRXs that I'm aware of are like the FP Blue. I think Steam Speed makes some now, and SoCal. And SoCal does some pretty good work. Rob did a lot of research and testing out to find weaknesses. The Wankel engine, I've seen guys move to the positioning of the drop of the rotary apparently helps with the rotation. Okay. I also saw about the rear counterweight. People are dropping those flywheels for aftermarket ones and putting like a different counterweight on there. So like I said, I've been like I still have a ton to learn. EFR pretty damn fine. I also like Garrett's, but I think EFR might be slightly better for twin scroll specifically. Tell us when you're gonna get the EG up and running. I want to see that thing running again. EG. My goal to get the EG running again is like 4 to 5 weeks. Like 4 to 5 weeks. The engine is supposed to be shipping out tomorrow from California, which means I should get the engine back by the end of the week, which means that I should have the engine in by next weekend, which means that we should get the harnesses and all that other stuff made up pretty quick, because we already have fabrication and everything all done. So like 4 to 5 weeks is the game plan to get that thing running again, which... should be very doable. Assuming, biggest thing is assuming our engine ships out tomorrow. Have you seen the horror fuel that is ChatGPT-4? The horror fuel? I have not. I was asking, I don't think I'm definitely not going to get to it tonight like I thought I was going to. It has been a while. I'm bringing the live streams back also 2 a week again. I don't know what days they're going to be specifically set up. It might be a little bit random, but there's going to be 2 live streams a week again. Promise you that. It's on my schedule for my video board and everything like that. So live streams are coming back. But I asked like a ton of people on Instagram. I was like, give me your weirdest car questions, and I want to ask them in ChatGPT. So we'll probably do that in the next video, because you guys asked some like really weird car questions, and I want to see if ChatGPT can answer. So we'll be doing that. Also, look at studding and doweling. I mentioned that one earlier. they were saying there's a company. I was watching one of Rob's videos and he mentioned it. There's a company that makes like a studded dowel. It's like a one-piece design where it's like a dowel with like smaller ends for the threads and whatnot. I'm going to keep doing research. I'm going to keep learning. Built heads, IEG stage 2.5 with GT35R. What can I expect power-wise on my build? Pump gas, E85. What's your fuel system on that one? 3GP Media. Matt! Matt's upstairs. Hang on. Matt's in the chat. Dang, boy, you actually caught up on chat. Where's this guy at? Hang on. Matthias.
Yo.
What are you doing?
I'm vacuuming up dog throw up.
Oh, who threw up?
Murph.
Oh, after you're done with that, come down and say hi to everyone on the live, man.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Can I get loud for a second?
Is it going to get loud? All right, everyone, Matt's going to vacuum.
I'm vacuuming dog throw up.
Okay. All right, we'll see you in a minute. I can literally hear him vacuuming upstairs. It's funny. FA20 versus EJ25. How much more difficult is the FA to rebuild? Honestly, FAs are stupid easy to build. I've got a video on showing you how to build an FA20 from the case halves up. Stupid easy to do. EJs are a little bit more difficult, but not insanely more. The only difference is with FAs, you're going to put the connecting rod onto the piston and then put it in there. Versus like an EJ where you put the connecting rod on the crank and then put it all in there. So honestly, FA20s are a little bit easier in my opinion. Pump gas, GT35R. Oh, my battery! Hang on, you guys. I gotta change my battery. Oh, you know what? Okay, I'm sorry, you guys. I've gone into the void of change or charge your battery, and my other batteries are dead, and we've been going for like an hour and a half, so I guess this is where I jump off. On the GT35R, I don't know what a GT35R is capable of off the top of my head. I want to say in between like 5 and 550 on pump gas is what you'll be able to hit. But that is where I'm ending it, as I've disappeared into the void because all my camera batteries are dead, so I do apologize. I know you guys can still hear me, but you cannot see me. So with that, I know, Rip, I'm sorry. I've just disappeared. This is like a podcast now. This is just like a podcast. I've disappeared. I'm gone. Somebody get this man a battery. All my batteries are dead. I'm sorry. It's alright. Like I said, we're bringing the live streams back. We're going to be doing 2 a week. So with that, I'll jump off of this for tonight. You guys, I appreciate everyone swinging through. Appreciate the donos as always. And what is today? Sunday. We'll do the next stream on Wednesday. So I will be back on for another live stream on Wednesday. So with that, I will catch you guys in the next one. So peace out, homies. Woo! He's taking a dump. Rip. By my friend. Into the void he goes. I just disappear into the void. Oh, podcasts have video now, do they?